What's up guys, Tommy Bowyer here from Movie Rewind, and today I'll be reviewing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So without further ado, let's get into it. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was released in 2022. It was directed by Sam Raimi and it's the second solo Doctor Strange film. And the original Doctor Strange film I thought was okay. It was a bog standard Marvel film. It kind of followed the Marvel formula to the letter, so it didn't really offer us anything different apart from quite a lot of stunning visuals. But as Sam Raimi was the director behind the original Spider-Man Trilogy, which if you've been watching this channel for a while, you will know they are films that I hold very close to my heart. I was very interested to see, with such a unique director as Sam Raimi behind it, what Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness could do. And coming away from it, it was definitely a very different kind of Marvel film. There is nothing like this film, it's unique. But I haven't figured out yet if it was unique in a good way or not. So there's going to be, I'm going to try and keep spoilers limited in this review, but when there are spoilers, don't worry, I'll give you fair warning beforehand. Benedict Cumberbatch, he does okay in the role of Doctor Strange, and I'm going to be honest, at some moments during this film, I was disappointed in his performance. He seemed to kind of just be going through the motions. He weren't really trying to wow the audience with his performance. So I was a little disappointed with that. Honestly, I felt Doctor Strange was better in Spider-Man No Way Home than he was in his own solo film. So that was a bit of a disappointment. Saying that though, the standout performance from this film has to be Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch. She's amazing during this film. The actor is fantastic. She's able to deliver a wide variety of performances and really does make Scarlet Witch stand out. There are scenes during this film where she can go from being absolutely terrifying 1 second to really emotional to the point that the viewer feels sorry for her the next. And that is the hallmark of a great actor. So Elizabeth Olsen, she was definitely the standout in this film. The other actors, they're all well good. You've got Benedict Wong, you've got Rachel McAdams. They all do decent performances. So I can't really fault the performances. I just felt that Benedict Cumberbatch didn't bring his best to the table in this film. The main thing, which I don't think anyone can really fault Doctor Strange for, are the effects. They are amazing. Because of the idea of the multiverse, they take a lot of creative choices, which I really enjoyed during this film. The effects are great. There is one scene in particular which is amazing. Basically, they're traveling through loads of different multiverses and we see loads of creative art styles and that, which, I don't know, it's just stuff like that which is enjoyable about a film like this, because you can tell they were really exploring the creativity with the effects. So it just worked really, really well. The CGI is amazing. It is top class. None of it looks fake whatsoever. So that is one thing I cannot criticize this film for. A lot of effort was put into making these effects look realistic and also being creative with them as well. And they succeeded with that, definitely. The plot of this film is surprisingly quite slow. This film spends a lot of time of just showing people talking, and I don't really understand why. Because obviously the premise of this film is exploring the multiverse. I mean, the film is called In the Multiverse of Madness, for goodness sake. And I just don't feel that we explore the multiverse enough. I mean, there were times during this film when I was constantly checking my watch to see what the time was, and that is a sign that the film hasn't grabbed my attention. Now, that could just be me, but I just felt like we did not spend enough time in this film exploring different multiverses. I think they could have really taken hold of this opportunity to explore a wide variety of universes. You could have got tons of cameos from different characters throughout this film, but you don't really get that. I would say the cameos are fairly limited in this film, and the multiverses we do spend a lot of time in are kind of dull. They don't really stand out in my mind, so that was a disappointment. I have to say though, a lot of this film is influenced by horror. Sam Raimi, of course, he's a horror director by trade, so of course he knows how to direct horror. And a lot of it does work. I mean, there are scenes during this film which you are on the edge of your seat and you're scared, especially quite a few scenes. There's a scene in particular with the Scarlet Witch which is done really well. That is straight up horror, and I love that. It was something a bit different. This film does have Sam Raimi's charm to it. You know, you can tell that Raimi was heavily involved in the creative choices for this film, and a lot of them do pay off, I have to admit. My main problem is the script and the story. Some of it is slow. Some of it takes a lot of time to get going. So yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment. I hate to kind of compare this to a Family Guy episode, but the Family Guy episode, Road to the Multiverse, handled the multiverse better than this Doctor Strange film, because in that Family Guy episode they explore a wide variety of multiverses and we get to see all of these different universes. I just think that Doctor Strange needed more of that. We needed to see all of these different multiverses because this was the film to do it in. So I feel like they missed an opportunity there. The scene of the film. Now I'm going to give a massive spoiler warning because this part will contain spoilers. So if you have not seen Doctor Strange, please go and see it before you watch this part of my review. But the scene of the film for me was the final confrontation, because we see Doctor Strange trying to protect this kid who can travel through the multiverse, and she finally learns how to control her powers and uses it against Scarlet Witch. But instead of killing her, she sends her to one of the multiverses, because basically Scarlet Witch's story arc throughout this film is the fact that she wants children, and she feels like if she can just travel throughout the multiverse, she can find a universe with kids and then she will be happy. But she's in this multiverse and she decides, right, there's the kids. She takes out the mum, and the kids are scared of her and they don't want anything to do with her. And that's when Scarlet Witch finally realises what's happened. She has become a monster and she will never have a family, and that's just the way it is. She can't come into a multiverse and try to take someone else's kids. And Elizabeth Olsen does a really good job during this scene, because the realisation in Scarlet Witch's eyes that her kids, or the kids who she thought were hers, were actually scared of her, and this was just all a fantasy in her head. And Olsen does an amazing job during that scene. And it's great that Scarlet Witch finally makes a sacrifice, that she decides, you know, she's gonna give her life in order to save all the trouble that she has done. So I really did enjoy that scene. It was the best scene in this film, and Elizabeth Olsen kills it in this scene, like she does throughout the film, I have to say. So in conclusion, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is unique. It gives us something different. It's a lot better than the first Doctor Strange film because it doesn't follow the Marvel formula. I like what they do with parts of this film. I like the more horror-themed stuff. I think Sam Raimi as a director really went forward with that, and it works. Elizabeth Olsen is great as Scarlet Witch. Benedict Cumberbatch is okay as Doctor Strange. I feel like he could have done more with his performance, but you know what? He's working with the script he's been given, so he kind of has to deal with it. But I was a bit disappointed coming out of this film. I felt like they could have done a lot more with the idea of the multiverse. We could have seen a lot more different universes. And there are some good cameos in this film, but I just feel like we could have done with more. I don't know. So I came away with mixed feelings about this film. I'm disappointed at the moment. I think if I see it again, knowing what will happen and what my expectations are now, I think I would enjoy it more. But it is not the best Marvel film in the world. And that's a real disappointment, because I thought with Sam Raimi at the helm, this one really could be one to remember. And at the moment, I'm disappointed. So that is a real shame. Overall, I would give Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness a very well-deserved silver ranking. Honestly, this film, it was okay. It's definitely one of the more unique Marvel films. It's just a shame that in my mind, it didn't pay off as I hoped it would. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed my Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness movie review. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe in order to receive great and maybe even improved quality content in the future. And I will see you in another one. See ya!